Hey y'all, welcome to the Stories That Sparkle. I'm Hella Rader, and in today's episode, I sit down with Meredith, and we have a very far-ranging conversation, as per usual, with me about creativity, about her business, Hancock Media, about how she got into being an entrepreneur and owning her own business, how she gives back, her faith, detaching with love from a mom, who she helped nurse through mental illness and addiction. We have a lot of things in common, and it's just an incredible conversation. This woman radiates joy. So it was a really great way to get to know Meredith, and I'm really excited to share our conversation because it was the last one I recorded before I left on this road trip. And I am now just days away from coming home from this road trip. In fact, when this episode comes out, I am on my way to Detroit. I basically started and now I'm ending this road trip, this Discoball Tour with Meredith. I mean, that's pretty cool. Oh, and also Owly, which you'll hear about if you listen in. So I invite you to get comfortable, sit back, and listen in. I'm Hella Rader. With a good sense of humor, an open heart, and an open mind, I love to explore the very human complexities in others and in myself. That's why I created a space for women you have never heard of and could easily pass on the street to share in their own voices the intricacies of starting over in life, building community, inhabiting their bodies, and more. Welcome to our Discoball, the stories that sparkle. Okay, and away we go. Hi, Meredith.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good. Welcome to the sunroom.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Oh, yay. Well, y'all, Meredith brought me a plant. It's a little succulent. It's going to go perfectly with all the other succulents.
Fits great in here.
I mean, it's like it was meant to be. It's in a little owl planter. Love it. And I'm going to take it with me because we're recording this before I go on my 4-week journey.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yes, very exciting. So I'm going to take it with me.
Great.
I'm going to have a little disco ball and
I just pictured that in your car with you as like a little friend to travel with.
Yes. No, I need a plant friend. I definitely need a plant friend. Thank you so much.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it. Aw. Well, okay, y'all. I met Meredith, I think the first time last year at the WOW luncheon, Women of Winchester luncheon. It's funny. I have a WOW necklace because I'm part of a women's group and it's called Women of Worth.
Okay.
So I was like, oh my gosh, it's like meant to be wow and wow. So anyway.
Well, we're going to miss you. But I hope your trip is great and fruitful and you meet a lot of amazing people. It's exciting.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. So we'll see what happens. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a plan, but the plan will change.
It will change.
Yes.
It looks like to you straight and narrow, but then it's like, weaving in and out. So, but it'll be fun along the way. It's the journey, right?
That's right. I know. I've really finally come to understand when people say it's not it's the journey, not the destination. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But now I'm like, yeah, no, I get that now in a different way. I'm like, you know what? You're right. It's so true.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. I met a lot of people in our travels to Sturgis. We just went to Sturgis Motorcycle Rally for the first time. My husband's a Harley guy. He wrenches on Harleys, even went to school for it. He doesn't do that now, but he rides it every day.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, if it's too cold or rainy, he will be like, can I take your Jeep? I'm like, okay.
But otherwise, he's only on the Harley.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he doesn't live far from where we live. So
right.
But still, he loves his motorcycle.
Oh, that's one. So do you ride as well?
I ride with him.
Okay. Yeah.
So I've been his passenger princess for about 25 years. And
wow, that's amazing.
Took a little break though because he got in a bad accident in 2007, and I was just kind of like, I'm gonna take a break from bikes. He didn't, but thank God he was okay from that. But yes, it was a lot of fun though. We went to Sturgis, just some of the hotels we stayed at, just talking to people, and a smile can just light someone up that's traveling alone. There was a lady named Mary who she was staying for the Mayo Clinic. Her husband was there, and she just she even scooted over to talk to us, and she's like, you bikers get bad reps. I'm like, well, we're okay.
Yeah, we're not bad people.
Yeah, she was really sweet, but just talking to people like that, and it was interesting. We stopped in Minnesota, and actually right before we left the state of Minnesota, a butterfly flew into the Jeep, and I was like, where'd it go? And then we stopped, like, I don't know, hours later when we got into South Dakota, and I looked back, and it's just like hanging out on the window of my Jeep, and I like picked it up, and it let me like put it on my hand. It looked kind of beat up.
Whoa.
And I was like, fly free, little butterfly.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
well, I have a whole thing with butterflies.
Really?
Yeah, like they visit
Aww.
with me. Like I have a lot of monarchs in the back, but then I have this one black butterfly that it's not always there. It makes an appearance when it's like gonna go a little woo here for a second, but it's like it first appeared. I've never seen it before. The first time it appeared was a few days before my mentor passed away last year. It's the first time it made an appearance, and it was kind of like, you got to get down there to see her now, because it's, so that was like my little messenger. And ever since then, like every so often when I need to know something, or I'm struggling to decide something or whatever, it makes an appearance.
I believe that. I have a thing with butterflies. My mom, I lost her in 2014, and that like led me to start following Jesus. And he showed himself to me through a song. And one day I automatically turned on my right hand blinker, like I was going to her where she lived, and I was like, oh, and I started crying. And then when I got home, I was sitting on my deck, and I just happened to stop and scrolling from my phone and just looked up in the sky, and there was clear sky, no other clouds, and there was one in the shape of the butterfly, and I heard this like gentle whisper that said, she's free.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I definitely have a thing for butterflies too. They're so pretty, and they symbolize so much freedom,
Yeah. So I'm really not surprised that you had a passenger butterfly
right?
come along. Butterfly was like, yeah, I like this lady. I'm going with her. Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
So so before we get into other things, how was the first Sturgis? I've only heard about it, never been.
Yeah, I do motorcycle magazine design. I have been since like 2011. That's kind of what got me out of my full-time job to launch into my own business. And I work with, editors all over the country.
Because your business is like marketing and design.
Yes,
right?
Branding, marketing, design, print, web, social. So I've been designing these pages for years and always see the pictures and I'm like, wow, that looks like an amazing event. So we happened to go to the 85th annual, and there was the record number of motorcycles ever there. Usually it's about 450,000. There was 537,000 plus.
Whoa.
And my brother-in-law got married to a friend. She's been like one of my best friends since I was 12 years old. They got married at Custer State Park.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So there was 6 bikes total, like 6 couples. They brought their friends from Kentucky, and they all rode their bikes in from Kentucky, and we met them there. And it was beautiful just being on the seat. We did a lot of riding the whole time. The first day we were on the saddle like 10 hours.
Whoa. So where do you like riding around like
there's loops that they map out for you. So we started at Custer Park. I think we went through Needles Highway, very curvy, and then Iron Mountain, and then Mount Rushmore. Seeing that was just amazing.
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah, we stopped at Crazy Horse, and then we rode through the Custer Wildlife area. So that was like a long day, but really beautiful. The weather was great the whole time we're there because, I did all this research and reading all these, other people's experiences before we went, that it could be hailing, it could be raining, bring clothes for summer and winter. And it was just a great week of like summer weather, except Friday was a little cool. We went to Devil's Tower in Wyoming. That was amazing. Do you remember that from the movie in like the 80s? I'm aging myself.
That's okay.
Close Encounters.
I'm aged with you. Oh yeah, we're the same age, I'm sure, or close to
Encounters
it.
of the Third Kind.
Yes.
And I forget the actor's name, but he made a little prototype of that mountain with mashed potatoes in the movie. So as a kid, like all my life, I've called it Mashed Potato Mountain.
Oh my God, I love this. I love it. I need to go see the Mashed Potato Mountain.
I finally got to see Mashed Potato Mountain.
That's so great.
No, it was just great to experience that and to not be connected to a device and just to feel the wind in your hair and meet all these different people. And the campground was quiet and nice, and just would come back in the evenings and go to bed early, get up early, get back out there. We did go downtown to venture around to see vendors and the wheel of the cage of death that the motorcycle.
Whoa.
It's like this big round spear cage that a motorcycle goes pretty much all the way around.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'd always wanted to see. So I got to see a lot of things that I've always wanted to see.
Right. You literally have seen it in the magazine that you've been laying out.
Yes.
Wow. That's incredible.
So it was fun. It was a much needed break too.
Right. Yeah. Those kinds of trips are like the best because you're like in another universe, like immersed, present. That's such a big deal these days, especially to just be present fully in something. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live in Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, okay.
And the dust storm, like I saw on social media yesterday, it was a huge dust storm and I would always see those because I live right near the Australia mountains. And one time I got a pretty good picture of it. And that was, I've never been caught in one of those, but wow, it's a different kind of beautiful out there.
Yes.
It did make me grateful for living in the Shenandoah Valley and the mountains that surround us and, the beautiful seasons and so
yeah, the green I couldn't get with the brown. Like it's beautiful, and I loved living in Santa Fe in that like the natural beauty of it. What was going on in my life was not so beautiful, but the nature and the views, but it was just very brown. And I'm like, I need
they had
more.
to pay for people to bring in rolls of grass.
Yeah, I'm like, I want more green and like grass and so. Wow. So what brought you, did you grow up in the Winchester area or?
Well, I've lived here since 2008.
Okay.
But before that, I grew up in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Okay. And when I was 17, I was like out of there.
Right.
Went to art school in Newark, PA. Came back to Martinsburg for a little bit. And, my husband and I are high school sweethearts.
Oh.
Yeah. So he decided to join the Marine Corps, which led us to be stationed in Beaufort, South Carolina. We lived on the coast. That was great. Right around where they filmed like The Big Chill and Prince of Tides, just a half hour from Savannah, Georgia. Love that. Still have great friends there. Then we moved out to Phoenix, Arizona. And at each place I worked at newspapers and just met, great people along the way. He went to MMI for Harley mechanic certification in Phoenix. And then we ended up back in Leesburg and we made our way to Winchester. It was just more affordable to buy here. So this is the longest I've lived anywhere.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, this is actually one of the longer places I've lived. Like almost like second to New York City, but like in one spot aside from growing up, of course. But yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and I actually worked in Leesburg at a newspaper as an art director. And in 2011, when we had just moved, and I'm like, I'm just going to, take a leap and start my own thing. And
yeah, what was that process like? So, I mean, first of all, I'm just curious about, because you were working for like small regional or local newspapers mostly?
It was kind of a local conglomerate. They had 18 weekly newspapers.
Okay, because those are going away.
Yeah, well, that's why I jumped ship, right?
Right, you're like, I see the writing on the wall.
I know, and that's so sad because investigative reporting is so important.
Yes.
And there's so much AI and false information, and you never know, so it's good to have local investigative reporters. That's one thing that kind of worries me.
Yeah. So that's
okay.
I just so you went to art school. And what was the process for you getting into newspapers or taking that into the newspaper world?
My first job was actually doing paste up. It's been amazing watching it evolve and growing with that and being versatile. And so my first job was at a newspaper in Martinsburg, and then I worked in Reston at the Reston Times. And when I moved from there to South Carolina, they connected me with a daily newspaper in Beaufort, which was great. And then when I moved out to Arizona, it was a local weekly. But I always have to be busy and do different things. Like I was volunteering at a local theater in South Carolina, and just always finding extra things to do. And it's in those extra things that I realized, hey, I could build skills here. I could do more of this. And I also went back and got my Bachelor of Arts degree in digital design online, so I could be more rounded. That actually got me promoted to art director at my job at the newspaper
Wow.
before I started my own company.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I love this. Yeah. Like I love the learning something in all the different things you do and taking all those skills and using them in the other things, in the big thing you do. Like like having that inform what you do or how you do it. Wow. That's
great.
incredible.
It's great. And so I started in 2011. I kind of hid out my office until 2017, and I went to a Women of Winchester. And I believe Tina Benke started that in 2017. She recently lost her battle to cancer.
Oh.
But after that, it was Jan Copeland, and then it was Jacqueline Shoemaker. And during COVID, she had to go full time into the Guard doing COVID testing with the tents and all that fun stuff. So I took it over. I'm like, I'm an introvert. This is out of my comfort zone.
Oh, wow.
I was already volunteering and doing all the graphics and marketing. But I think it's probably one of the best things I ever did was make myself go to one of those and get involved. And it's just a table for women to network and meet each other and help. You know, someone sitting across from the table might need something that you need, or you can help them with, you know, their nonprofit. We have a featured speaker every month on topics, all kinds of topics, and a featured nonprofit, just to raise awareness and to build a community. And it's non-committal. That's what I love about it. There's no membership fee. You just come and show up and hopefully build your own community out of meeting people there.
Yeah, no, it's a really wonderful, I do love that too, that it's not like you don't have to become a member and dues and like commit. You can, you know, if you're not available, you just don't come that
We
month.
already have enough to do as women, right?
Right? Yeah, I know. We're busy people. Yeah. It's like we got enough
And
going on.
you know, you get to go to the George Washington and the Grand Ballroom, this beautiful lunch, and it's just nice to take that pause and be together. And, you know, there's vendors and door prizes. It's great. October, we do our annual fundraiser for the Laurel Center. It's Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
That's right.
So we'll have a kind of a fundraiser lunch. You know, we put out a sequin purple carpet, and we all just kind of do a walk down the carpet to
I did
honor.
that last year.
So
That's
isn't that
right.
fun?
Oh my God, it's great.
Yes.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah,
Keep going.
so we all walk down the purple carpet just in honor of those who have fought that battle or are still fighting it. It doesn't matter, you know, if you donate or not. We just want everyone to walk down, and it's empowering as a group to do that. And Faith Power will share a little bit about the Laurel Center and what they all have going on, which they have a new cafe called the Railway Cafe. It's right next to the Laurel Center.
I was there for lunch today.
Wasn't it great?
That's wonderful.
I had lunch there last week. That's just a great opportunity to provide work, you know, and I think people should really try it out. It's amazing, but I'm looking forward to October. And yes, December is the big one where we have the rescue mission as a featured nonprofit. We have Santa there. We all bring in tons of toys for tots, and the tree is just, there's piles of toys and donations. And we'd like to give a little donation to the Lions Club for doing that. And it's great.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'm at one of the first ones I met Rain, who's going to come record with me.
I saw that. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to have but that's where I met her. We were both like sort of, well, I don't know. You know, it's funny. I've decided I'm an extroverted introvert.
I'm the same.
Yeah.
Ambivert. I think it's called ambivert.
I'm like, I thought for years I was an introvert. But I'm like, I think I have or some people call it introvert with a big personality. I'm like, well, that works fine, whatever. Anyway, but the two of us were kind of like, we don't know will you be my friend? You know, so it was a fun, like little opportunity to I would have never met her.
I love hearing that. I love stories like that.
Yeah. We were both at having a coffee, like, hi, you know, who are you? I'm like, do you know anybody? No. Okay. Let's talk, you know? So
that's great.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. So what was that like though, as an introvert, to suddenly be very much in the center of things?
You know, it kind of came naturally. I'm okay with speaking in front of people as long as I know, you know, what I'm doing, what the point is, and kind of have it laid out before me. I always have my notes and things like that. But it actually just came naturally. I've been a part of it for a while, so I knew the platform, and yeah.
Wow, that's so great. I love this. Okay, so I wanted to hear a little bit more about that transition and taking that leap of faith from leaving a job, even if it's in a field that you see as sort of writing on the wall as going away in the way it's been for this whole time, changing so dramatically. But what was that like process like? Like, how did you walk through that?
It was, well, it had gotten to the point where I was losing team members, doing more work, being promoted to like in a supervisory position. And I looked 10 years older. I was stressed and just not in a happy, good place. And something had to change. And I just did it, Right. It was scary. And I think it was about 3 months after I did that, my husband lost his job.
No way.
But it all works out. I feel like, God has a plan. And in that, being self-employed, I was able to help my mom. She suffered from bipolar schizophrenia addiction.
Oh, wow.
And had been homeless for years. And it enabled me to be there for her when she needed me. I went and picked her up from Parkersburg, West Virginia. She was living somewhere, and everything she had fit in the back of my Jeep. And she had found a place back in Martinsburg. So for the last 2 years of her life, I didn't know it was going to be the last 2 years of her life.
Right.
But I had that flexibility to be with her and to spend some time with her, even though it was hard. It's very hard. I was kind of doing it alone.
Yeah. So how did you do that? I mean, do you mind talking about this?
I don't mind at all.
Okay. Because I think this is actually, I didn't realize that was part of your story. So this is really like, I think really important because I'm sure there's a lot of women out there, people, but certainly women out there who are struggling with, someone they love is in addiction or mental illness, and it's hard. Yes.
And it's more common than you'd think, and I think awareness and knowing the importance of community to people who are suffering from that illness or mental or addiction, but with boundaries. You have to have boundaries,
right?
But I think there was a study where they took a lab rat, two lab rats, and they put one with cocaine in the water bottle, and the other did not have any, and the one without the drug in the water had community, and it thrived, but the one that was alone just kept going back to that water bottle. So then they switched it, and I think I'm messing this up, but you kind of get the idea. But it was the community that helped them not go to that water bottle. Wow. It was the other way around.
Wow. Yeah, no, community, it's the recurring theme in all my conversations. In one way or another is the importance of community, or what happens when you don't have a community, or what, the struggle, it's so much harder to go through whatever it is without a community.
Yeah, I think that for my mom's case, she was adopted when she was 8 years old. Her father was at the VA center sick when she was 8 years old and brought her with him. And she lived at a foster home, and he died while she was there. So she, grew up in foster home. She never really built a community. It was a lot of loneliness. And if you have severe depression and, mental illness, and I wasn't aware that's why mom looked so sad when I was growing up, or why this or that happened, or, I wish I would have known, but I don't, I was a kid.
Right. You're a kid. I was going to say, so she was struggling with all of that as you were growing up too. Right.
Yes. That explains, a lot of things that happened. I think the awareness of that, but if I could change anything, I wouldn't, because it's made me who I am today. And on the other end of that, when she passed away, I was like, God, if I could just help one woman, let me do something, because there's always that guilt. Did I do enough? Finally, I think I've healed from that guilt of like, I could have done more, or, but I get to give back locally. I volunteer with Valley Light Foundation. It's a transitional home for women. I think you may have seen them at Women in Winchester. They also have Valley Shine, where they take broken jewelry and make new jewelry out of it, making broken beautiful. And I'm a mentor there, and we gather every Thursday together and have dinner and a Bible study. And
oh my gosh,
but they're like my friends. I don't view it as like service. I view it as part of my life and like a family and community, because I don't have a lot of family either.
Right. Because then you've moved. I mean, you've lost your mom.
I lost my dad to cancer in 2004, right when we moved back from Arizona.
Oh my gosh.
So it was like a 10-year, like really sad period there. But then, that led me into my walk in faith and finding strength, through God and just living out the footsteps he's put before me and helping others. That's all you can do. And I find peace in that. Definitely.
Right. Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. It's interesting. Or, I can relate to a lot of that. Like I lost my dad when I was younger, like 25, 6.
Yeah. I was 27.
Yeah. So so around that age, it's really hard, especially the dad. Right. So, I mean, it would be hard no matter what.
Yeah. I was really close to my dad. He was an artist too.
Yes.
Messed up childhood, but he was still my dad. I loved him, and I could tell him anything. But I'm like, he didn't get to see everything. He didn't get to be a part of it,
Yeah, no, that was, I mean, he also was he didn't work as an artist, but he was the creative arty guy and, understood that part about me.
Right.
Which maybe not everyone else did, or maybe that was my sense of it at least. Maybe they did and I didn't know, but he was clearly got it, so yeah. And then I also lost my mom in 2015.
Oh, wow. So it's a year after mine.
Yeah, lots of parallels. And it's interesting when you were saying that, you had those 2 years because I moved back this way a year before she died.
Oh, wow.
Not knowing that was going to happen a year later. So I'm really glad that I had that whole year with her. So and it was a similar, I mean, for me, there were other circumstances going on that I thought was why I was moving. Right. And I needed to move closer to home and being, all of that. But I had this knowing, like, go home. Like it was this almost like a voice, like, go home, lady, go home. And I'm like, what? And so, now I'm like, oh, now I know why. Because I wouldn't have been here.
Right.
So.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Because that's when I lived in New Mexico. So, it's like similar. Wow. It's very interesting. Who knew, Meredith? Who knew? We have so much in common.
Butterflies, succulent plants, and owl planters.
I know. So what was that journey like those last 2 years? Had you been like estranged from her with like, did you have to set some boundaries?
Well, she always remembered my phone number, and it was weird because I guess kind of estranged, but there would be instances where she would call me in the middle of the night and she's like, I'm out in the cold. I was somewhere and I can't find my wallet or anything. So that's when, we didn't have smartphones.
Right.
I would Google Map. I'm like, where are you? Okay, walk 2 blocks to this emergency room, put me on the phone with the person, and I'll see if they can let you sit there till the morning. I'll get you Western Union money so you can get on the bus and get back to your shelter.
Right.
Where she had like strayed off, and I think that was a mental illness, like weird things like that. As she would write me occasionally. I still have letters, but not a lot of parenting, just, it was an odd relationship, but she always remembered my number and would reach out, and I was there for her when, she needed me, but I needed her too, but she wasn't there, but it's okay. But it was hard. I wasn't at the place I am now, being healed and kind of like redeemed and restored and stronger. It was very hard. There was, a lot of tears, a lot of feeling alone, a lot of resentment. I did it with some grumbling, but I took her to doctor's appointments. She was in and out of nursing homes. And then the sad thing is when I went to her apartment to like clear it out, I was like, everything she has, I gave to her. Like,
wow.
Yeah. Like down to like the furniture and like little knickknacks. It was like, wow, she had like a suitcase of, some papers and like even the clothes. And it was just like, I'm glad she had me, and, I'm glad she was my mom. I mean, I'm a stronger person because of it. So, but it was very hard. The grief was, it still comes in waves, you'll think about it and just kind of like, or smell something or see a butterfly or things like that. So it was definitely one of the hardest things in my life. Like with my dad, it was just like quick. I moved back from Arizona in 2004 in October. A month later, he said, I'm in the hospital. I have this thing called multiple myeloma. And I looked it up. I'm like, this is not good. And then January 2nd, he was gone.
Wow.
So, and I didn't really know she was going to pass either. It was just like an accident thing in her apartment, a heart attack. And, they kind of found her. And of course there was like guilt, what if I had been there or, but I'm not that powerful. People have their day that they're supposed to go. And,
right.
But an answered prayer was, I always would lay in bed at night worrying about her and say, God, please don't let her end up in a ditch somewhere and no one find her or not ever know. So he gave me that answer prayer, so she was safe and in a safe environment when it happened. And yeah, it was pretty heavy.
Yeah, no, that's intense. I mean, addiction, and it's hard to watch someone you love, whether it's mental illness. I mean, addiction, alcoholism, it's all a form of, it's an illness, right. Of some kind, like cancer or diabetes, and it doesn't make it any easier, but it's still right. it's harder to wrap my head around that right. It's an illness because it's not an illness in the way that you think of an illness, right?
In that instance, they may be addicted to a drug, but there's other addictions. I definitely think phone scrolling, overworking, it's in all things, and you really have to think about what's the master of my life.
Right.
How am I stewarding what's been given to me? And to recognize it is the first thing, and to work on not getting sucked into that. I think some people, circumstances, upbringing, things that have happened out of their control, they could easily fall into that without a community.
Right.
I think the more we can help each other and build each other up, we have a better chance.
Yeah, no, 100%. Because and also, it's hard to watch when you can't, because there's,
and I'm a fixer,
right. You can't do anything about it. It's hard. Yeah.
And you have to, there's a part where, am I enabling or am I loving with detachment? Sometimes you have to love with detachment too. Yeah.
Oh, Whew. That's the hard one. Mm-hmm. How do you, love, I've come to a place where I see that as leaving space. Mm-hmm. That's really helped me detach better with love versus an axe, mm-hmm. right? Is to think of it as, I'm just going to leave space for this person and for myself, and leave that open, be open to receive in and give out, but yes. Leave some space there.
It's also loving yourself too.
Yeah. Cause I'm a fixer too. I'm what's the problem? Let's fix it. Let's make a plan. Chop, chop, let's go. And that's been hard. Cause I'm some people don't want to change. Some people don't want to change.
You can't do the work for them.
And you can't do it for them. Yeah. It's really hard, cause I've seen it, whether someone was ill, or, I remember my ex-husband was badly injured and was ill for a long time. And, watching that was hard too. And being the caregiver, and, these resentments and anger would come up because it was the powerless over fixing it that made me angry. It wasn't him being sick that made me angry. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's what it sounded like, but it was really underneath was I can't fix this. I'm not big enough to make this better.
Right.
And it's not really my job. That's above my pay grade. But my human brain was but I'm frustrated and it makes me mad that I can't fix this.
Yeah.
So.
All we can do is love them. And sometimes it looks different with healthy boundaries.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I know. It's hard. I know.
Oh yeah. That. No. Well, yeah. And I think you're right. That community piece of, the caregiver or the ones who love them, whoever they are, who are troubled or going through whatever, also need community. We all need each other.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is what's so great about the WOW.
Yes.
Community.
Yes. I have a great board for Women of Winchester. We all just fill in the areas where each other, we have our different strengths and abilities, and it all just comes together, and it's amazing. It really is.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about Hancock Media.
Hancock Media, my tagline is designed to make a difference.
Ooh.
Yeah, I love working with nonprofits. I helped with Valley Light and their to get them kicked off. I think that was back in 2018. I like to give back. 10% of everything goes to local nonprofits. And it just...
Oh, wow. That's built into your business model.
Yeah,
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So it goes back to the community, local, gives back. And I volunteer for different things, around the community. If someone needs a flyer, or, hey, I'll jump in and help. But mainly, focus on branding. If a new business is starting and they have no idea where to begin, help with a branding identity and, their website and their social media. I do social media graphics and content planning for the month to make it easy, because, who has time to do all that? Branding, website design, nothing too complicated there. I have referral partners for more development type of things. But the visual and aesthetic part and the messaging to kind of pull together who a business is and what they do and how to reflect that to the people that they want to speak to. Mm-hmm. And then the publication design, work with some small business publications locally out in Middleburg and down in Knoxville, Tennessee. And of course the motorcycle magazines. That's always fun too.
Right.
But yeah, so I kind of do a little bit of everything to keep it well-rounded. But I have one helper, Michelle. She's amazing. And I would like to grow in the future, but I don't know what that looks like. And I may need some coaching on that, or just to sit down. And I think I need just like a retreat getaway to just really think about it and write it out and what that would look like.
Right.
Or if that is the next move, I don't know. But I've just been really blessed to meet the people that I have been able to work with and continue to work with, and just to help be a part of their business to make them stand out and be better.
Mm-hmm. So what's your process like when you start working with somebody, like on any part of that, like mm-hmm. all or none, or just one or all of the different areas? Like, mm-hmm. what's that process like for you?
Well, we do a kickoff call, and send them a proposal and an outline of the timeline, the steps, and kind of just proof things back and forth until it's, something they love and that will hold longevity and can work for them. So it's getting to know who they are and what they do and their message, and asking the right questions and putting that into a format that reflects who they are through their branding and, all of their identity system and, on social, whatever they're looking for. It's kind of finding out their needs.
Right.
Yeah.
What's that been like? Because I don't know if we're exactly the same age, but I suspect we're close. Probably closer than we think.
I'm relishing my 40s. That's all I can say.
Okay. Well, I've passed into the 50s.
Oh, okay.
52.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's actually been quite lovely. Mm-hmm. Most days. Some days I'm like, what? Not right. But what has that been like with the emergence of social media? Because mm-hmm. that was not, we're not digital natives mm-hmm. growing up with that. So like, what's that been like?
I think I'm pretty versatile. Design is design, whether it's the messaging or, the media might change, but the idea behind it and who you're talking to, the marketing part of it hasn't changed. I know the algorithms change and things like that, like videos and reels and the different platforms, but it's just being creative and in a way that speaks to the audience that they're trying to reach. So I wouldn't say I even see that evolving too, though. So it's just kind of growing with that. But I think it's amazing that I get to live during a time where, we grew up with no internet.
I know.
And now we're here.
VHS tapes. Yeah.
Yes. I remember in art school, I took an HTML class,
Right. They're like, here's the computer. What is this thing?
And I
mm-hmm.
learned Flash, which is completely irrelevant now. And but I'm like, why did I even learn that? And now with the AI, it's wow. This is interesting to be alive during this time.
Yeah, I feel like it's my last stand is to refuse to feed the AI. It's a losing battle, but I'm like, I don't. Like someone was like, well, you could use it to do your stuff. I'm like, I don't know how. I would. Mm-hmm. I don't want it. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't even know how. Why
I think it's good as a tool. I don't think you should use it to think for you.
No, I'm like, I'm good.
I always come up with ideas, and when I do use it, I'm like, can you polish this grammar?
Right.
Or, you know, I'll talk to it and, you know, it's my voice and it's just like, let's polish this grammar, make it sound good, you know,
Right.
things like that.
Right.
But I don't want it to think for me.
Right. Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. Well, and I think, you know, I have, you know, I've said it to a few times, so I'm like, you know, it feels like it's going to be like kind of like organic food, you know, it'll be like organic arts versus the AI arts. That's just in my brain. That's how I find
I'm
comfort.
I've had people that come to me, here's this logo I made with AI. It's never good.
Right.
So, you know, I am still needed.
Right. Yeah. So as a person who's, you know, evolved in your creative, how you work in a creative field, and you've, you know, gone from working in newspaper and doing that kind of creative work to now owning your own business and doing this marketing and design and layouts and all of the logos and all of that. Like, what would you say to a young person? I mean, different particulars, obviously, but like a young person who's looking to go into a creative field. Like, what would be your advice or your suggestion?
To find a mentor, find someone that's like 10 years ahead of you and learn from them. Be like a sponge. You know, all these places I moved, I was fortunate. I got to work with these different people that had different skill sets, and I got to learn, you know, shortcuts that they know and just building up that knowledge, because you can only learn so much in school. It's actually, you know, on the job that you're going to get the best training. So I would do as much research, follow people, you know, on social media that you aspire to be like. Don't mimic them. Be who you are authentically, but just do as much mentoring with someone. You know, do an internship. I've had a couple of high school students do internships, a couple of college students, and so have someone like 10 steps ahead of you, and then when you gain a little traction, do the same for other people. Have someone maybe 10 steps behind you. I think in all steps of life with anything, we should kind of have that, people that we can bounce off of with more experience, and then help those with less experience. It goes full circle, and you learn things from people who are 10 steps behind you, you know, as much as you do from those who are 10 steps ahead of you. So that would be, you know, and don't get discouraged or caught up in comparison. And just remember that you are unique and you have something to offer this world, and just to live in that, to bask in that, and grow into who you're meant to be. Right.
Do you like, do you have imposter syndrome come up for you?
Well, there's so many, you know, everyone does marketing.
Right.
Yes. So yeah, it's like I could be doing this so much better, or this or that. So, but it's just like the baby steps of, okay, so if you think you could do that better, then work on this week, you know, do some research, do a little project on your own that could build you in that skill. So I think everyone goes through it, really.
Right. Yeah. So like what I'm hearing is you see those things and go, okay, I can either be discouraged by it, or I can be inspired to learn something new by it.
I'm more inspired now. And, you know, I think like as we get older, I think it helped me hostage, you know, in my 20s and 30s.
Right.
You kind of get, I don't know, paralyzed by it. But once you kind of quiet those negative voices and realize you can learn from this or grow from this, and to realize that you are worthy right where you're at, you know, if you don't match up to that's what that person's doing. That's, you know.
Right. Yeah. I went through like a version of that, because this is new for me in the sense of like being out and about, and like, this is what I do now. Like, this is all I do now. Because I used to do a lot of this on the side, like working a full-time job and then writing, or, you know, it was sort of like my after work activity. And so it's been an interesting, this year specifically, like learning how to, like, okay, I know I need to get the word out. I'm really uncomfortable with that on the one hand, but I know I need to do that. So then how do I do that feels like it's me and not me trying to be someone else? And then, like, you know, it's like been this like back and forth. And I feel like, like I'm getting more comfortable. It's getting easier. And I just keep coming back to, okay, is this really something I find funny or interesting or whatever? Because if not, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm just not going to do it because it's going to be goofy.
Self-promotion is the hardest thing. Luckily, I built my business on referrals. So getting to know people and building your circle is what's really helped me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oof. I mean, actually, for me, it's all the women that come join me, to me, are the thing, like, are what I want to get out there. But I'm like, but I got to do the thing to get it out there. So it's like,
without being cringy.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, how do I do this without making it about me or, being not myself, So yeah, and cringe. I mean, just no cringe. Try to avoid the cringe.
Right.
So, do you have other, do you feel like because this is your job, and your business, like, does it satisfy the creative things within you? Do you have other outlets for it as well? Or do you feel like this is like, it's not even work because it's just so fun. It's like what I do, or it's who I am.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like work because it is so fun. And, but I do like to share my gifts and do some creative things like fine art and things like that. I've started a Creative for Christ life group at my church, and we meet once a month and do something creative. Like last semester, we made little watercolor Valentine's cards and took those to a local nursing home with little packets and we actually got to hand deliver them to each of the rooms. That was so sweet, and that was really fun to watch all the different styles, how everyone else creates their own art. We did some painting. So I think that's a lot of fun. I have all these ideas in my head, there's this whole series of paintings I want to do from mission trips I've been on to India and Bolivia and all the culture and the color. But it's making the time, to do that. But I feel like I could do more self creating to kind of nurture that part of the creativity. I'm so busy doing everything for everyone else, but that fulfills me. But yeah, that's kind of a goal to do more of the creative, creative things that I have in my mind.
Yeah. Cause I was, at times been worried because I'm like, okay, it's one thing when this wasn't my full-time job and I, could get excited to come home and just, with my free time, I will do this thing,
Right. Right.
And fantasize about this is all I do. And then I was worried, okay, well, this is really now all I do. I hope I like it. I hope I don't get bored or it's not fun or or what if I'm not good at it, whatever. So,
right. But yeah, I like design all day and I could sit down and paint all night, if I made myself do it. But sometimes I'm just like, huh.
Yeah, no, it's, it's a lot. It's a lot. And as we said before, we're doing a lot of things.
Switching a lot of gears.
That's right. I don't even know. Do you have kids? Are you?
No, we never had children. No.
Yeah. Same. Oh my gosh. Okay. Check. Lots of boxes being checked that have same.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's fascinating.
I see lots of coffee dates in our future.
Yes, I do too. I'm like, okay, we'll be hanging out. Oh, well, this has been delightful.
Yes, it has. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. I really have enjoyed this a lot. And I just hear a lot of the community thing, but also lots of joy. You have a lot of joy. You just carry so much joy and positivity. And knowing enough from my own experience what all of those different losses were like for me, it's really quite beautiful to see all this joy in you. It's wonderful. So
thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing it with me today. I'm like, I needed that. I needed some joy.
Yeah, so. It's strange when you just kind of don't look at yourself and I'm hearing myself talk. I'm like, is this me?
Right. Who am I?
But no, I appreciate you pointing that out. And I do have a lot of joy.
Yeah. No, you just radiate. So just FYI.
All right.
So, but yeah, lots of coffee dates.
Yes.
I'm down with that.
Check-ins with your trip and some selfies with your little owl succulent.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
You should name them.
Okay, y'all. We're gonna see what we name. What Owly.
Owly.
Oh, Oh, I love it. Okay, Owly will be coming with me and sitting on the
outings.
That's right. Well, Owly the outings. We'll sit on my dashboard next to the disco ball because I have a little disco ball I'm going to hang from the rear view mirror. So. Yeah, it's gonna be that, and we'll see what happens. Who knows?
I love this. Okay, I'm excited for you.
Thank
you. You know, safe travels.
Thank you.
And I know it'll be amazing. I can't wait to see what you do.
Thank you. Oh. All right. Well, thank you again.
All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you again for listening to The Stories That Sparkle, a space I created for women to share in their own voices the intricacies of their stories. Another big thank you to Meredith. Wow, what an amazing, incredible human. What a beautiful woman. She really does radiate joy, y'all. So follow her. I've got all the links to all of her things, including Women of Winchester, Hancock Media, her Instagram. All of the things are in the show notes. So go check her out, support her, supporting our community. So yeah, I am on the tail end of this trip. I'm going, like I said, I'm heading to Detroit, and then I'm going to go to Cleveland, and then I'm coming home. So I'm really excited about that, sleeping in my own bed. So there's going to be lots to say about this tour. There's going to be lots of episodes coming out. They will take a little while to all come out to you. So please stick around for that. And if you're enjoying The Stories That Sparkle, please pass it on to 2 friends, just 2, and encourage them to pass it on to 2 more, and so on and so forth. And if you have a story you want to share or a topic you'd like me to cover, please send me a message to hellarader@substack.com, because together we bring light into dark places.